Hey everybody, so it's been about a week since my last video. Apologies for the long gap. I usually like to upload more frequently, but like I said, January, it's a really slow month because all the major phone brands are holding out their stuff for MWC in late February. So I'll be going to MWC, so expect a bunch of videos around the end of February. New phones from LG, from Huawei, from Xiaomi, and probably Vivo. And I'm getting my hands on maybe that Meiju phone without any ports too. But I have here on me anyway the UmiDigi 1 Max. So this is UmiDigi's take on the Waterdrop notch. So I believe this is the first phone from these like smaller Shenzhen brands to do the Waterdrop notch. And this one also supports wireless charging, and it runs on a MediaTek 6763. 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage. So the packaging is very similar to previous UmiDigi devices. It's relatively nice for a smaller Shenzhen brand. Ooh, this case is pretty hard to take off. So you can see it comes with a rubber jelly case. Wow, I can't take this off. Okay. Damn, this case is tight. Okay, so it also has this gradient color scheme that UmiDigi has done before. It's obviously inspired by Huawei devices. And you see right here that Waterdrop notch. So this is you have a SIM ejector tool and instructions. Yeah, pretty standard. Red and black charging cable again, and the charging brick. Basically the same packaging as before, generally pretty nicely well presented. Little foam padding right here. So now we'll get to my favorite part, the peeling of the phone. Actually, let's have a look at what it says. So right here you see you have a dual SIM slot right here on the left side. Dual cameras right here. Supposedly is a 12 megapixel main sensor with a 5 megapixel depth sensor. And then you have volume rockers right here on the right side, and a fingerprint sensor and power button. Yeah, it's clicky, so it's a power button. And you see this phone supports wireless charging. Supposedly at up to 18 watt wireless charging speed. I mean, that's pretty fast. Nice. Okay, you see, so there's a screen protector applied on it, but I'm going to take it off. It feels just to see the notch. So the phone comes with screen protector applied, and you have the Waterdrop notch right here. So I'm going to set up the phone and I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back. So I've been using the UmiDigi 1 Max for the past 6 hours, and here are my impressions. So first of all, this phone is really well built, just like previous UmiDigi devices. The aluminum railings on the side are very firm. It's very hard. It feels a little bit more sturdy than some of the aluminum frames on cheaper phones. And the 6.3-inch LCD panel, 1080p resolution looks good. Viewing angles are excellent actually for a phone at this price range. And I can definitely use this phone outside the sun too. So max brightness, it's okay. Now, there is a small Waterdrop notch, and for the most part the software has been optimized to work for it already. This is stock Android 8.1. I wish it was Android 9, but still, at least it's complete stock Android. Now, when you play games, it does cut off on the left side and has this like really ugly letterboxing, but that's not really a problem with UmiDigi, but a lot of notched phones right now. I really like the look of this gradient color glass back. I mean, yeah, it's not an original design. Huawei did it like a year ago, and now Oppo has done it too, but it's still very eye-catching, especially when light hits it at certain angles. The fingerprint sensor on the side works relatively well. I do find that sometimes it will fail to register my finger, but for the most part, I'd say like 85 to 90% of the time, it unlocks with no problem. So 85% sounds pretty high, but for a fingerprint scanner, that's actually a little bit annoying. Like you would prefer it to be like 95, 97%, but so far I'd say like 85% for me. Yeah, you see like right now it took a couple of tries to register. So we'll go over the specs really quick. This phone runs on a Helio P23 chipset with a 4150 milliamp hour battery. So the battery is huge, should power this phone all day easily. This phone has wireless charging It works perfectly. I tested it already. And wireless charging charges up to 15 watts. So not 18 watts, but 15 watts is still pretty respectable. And this phone has NFC. So inside this Waterdrop notch is a 16 megapixel selfie camera. And then you see right here a sliver of an earpiece. Phone call sounded fine. And on the back, you have a 12 megapixel main camera and then 5 megapixel secondary depth sensor. Right now, I don't know what the secondary depth sensor do because the camera app, I think it's not finished. You see, you have picture, video. That's it. You have some filters here, but otherwise, there's not even a button to change photo resolution or video recording resolution, and there is no button to shoot portrait mode. So I don't know what the second camera does because right now it's completely useless. It doesn't do anything. This camera app does not give you the option to take bokeh shots. So now in terms of the camera, the photos are about what you'd expect from a budget Shenzhen phone under 200 bucks. So if you have good daylight, photos are gonna come out pretty lively, well detailed, colors are pretty accurate, but when you're shooting in challenging situation, dynamic range suffers. Like right here, dynamic range is relatively poor. You see in the shadow area, you can see the person, but then the sky is completely blown out. So in general, this is a camera that's definitely serviceable. It's about on par with all the little budget Chinese cameras out there. Shutter speed is relatively fast. The app is pretty responsive. This is a macro shot. There's like a pretty nice natural depth of field effect around the flower. Focus pretty good. But you see right here, again, dynamic range is pretty poor. You see the sky is completely blown out. You can't see anything. Like this building is even a little bit mushy because of the overexposed sky, and then down here the shadows is really dark. A better camera would be able to show the sky with the clouds, and then right here a little bit more details in the shadows. Let's check out these magazines here. My girlfriend's gonna get mad at that. But we'll look at these. Luka Doncic. So yeah, you see, you can crop in okay. Like this is not like a really well detailed shot, but it's good enough. It's serviceable for this price range. Now, unfortunately, this phone's video recording capability, it's really bad right now. Now, I'm pretty sure this is just like a bug. Software will fix it, but look at how choppy this is. So this is 1080p resolution. But like, look at this. This video is almost unusable. I shot another one earlier, and the other one turned out a little bit better. Still very jerky, but at least the frame rate is not choppy like earlier. It's a little bit better. But see, dynamic range is pretty poor again. So even factoring that this is a $200 phone, the video camera is really bad. Now, to UmiDigi's credit, I think they will fix this via software update. When I first unboxed the phone, I actually got a software update. And previous UmiDigi phones I've used, I did get software updates down the line, like after like a month or two. So I'm hoping they'll fix it. Otherwise, the phone performs okay. I played 3 games on this. Now, a more simple game like Shark Simulator and Jet Car Stunt 2, graphics were fine. I didn't notice any overheating, even though I played for like 15 minutes. But then when I move over to a more graphically intensive game, like the Spider-Man ripoff right here, you see at the frame rate, it's quite choppy. But it's still completely playable. Okay, so you know what we gotta do? We gotta do a speaker test. Now, good news about this phone, it actually has stereo speakers, although it's not too great, but you do get sound coming out 2 channels. So on YouTube videos, you are able to zoom to fill the entire display, and right now this is 50% volume. So you do get sound coming out this bottom fine speaker grill, and out here this earpiece. So volume's a little bit weak, to be honest. Let's go up to 80%. Go to 100%. So yeah, 100% volume, there's major distortion at 100% volume actually, and the sound is very flat, and this speaker is just not too loud. Like even right now, 50% volume, I can completely, I'm talking, I can't even hear the song, so speaker is not that good. But this video looks good. So my verdict on the UmiDigi One Max is that it's a good phone overall, but it's a little bit tough for me to recommend because this phone sells for $200 US dollars, and it has a Helio P23 chipset inside. Oppo has a sub-brand called Realme. They're selling a Realme U1 with a newer chipset, a Helio P70, for only $170. So that phone is $30 less, but it has a newer chipset. So I don't know what UmiDigi's thinking pricing this phone at $200. But to be fair, you do get some features here that you don't get on the Realme U1, such as wireless charging, NFC. You do get a larger battery at 4,150 milliamp hour, and internal storage. This phone has 128 gigs of internal storage inside, while the Realme U1 starts at 64 gigs of internal storage. So you get more storage, more battery capacity. That's it. And I guess you get stock Android. So if you really don't like Android skins from China, like whatever's on the Realme U1, then this phone, stock Android, might win you over. But if you just go by pure value, the Realme U1, it's a better purchase. But in a vacuum, the UmiDigi One Max is pretty good. So that's it for now. My next video should be the Meizu phone, the Meizu Zero. And after that, I'll be in Spain for MWC. Thanks for watching.